Erin Elmore destroys Adam Boulton on Sky News, The Guardian has a meltdown over Donald Trump, and Harry and Meghan quit social media. Hello everyone and welcome to the first video of the day. We have a lot of news from the US, but primarily from Sky News, because Sky News in the UK have decided to send Adam Boulton to Washington DC to report from there. He's the kind of acting correspondent slash still the main presenter doing his daily show from America. And while he's there, he's been interviewing a number of American commentators, pundits, but also a couple of British ones as well on the issue of the upcoming inauguration. He met his match because he usually talks a lot of nonsense. Sometimes he just comes up with some random stuff. But this time, Erin Elmore, one of the conservatives in America, who's also part of the Turning Point US, she's one of the contributors. She was on Adam Boulton's show, and they were talking about how Donald Trump's actions recently has been divisive, but then Adam Boulton decided to target individual voters and the conservative supporters, just basically anyone that he doesn't agree with. And Erin slightly lost her patience. Let's get to this clip first, and then I'm going to react to it, and then we're going to go to the second interview that he did with one of the British strategists.
And what about Article Amendment 25 of the Constitution? Do you feel that this president is fit to serve even for another few days?
Okay, so the first question is about Donald Trump's health, and he's not fit to be president for the next 10 days. We've gone for 4 years. 4 years, everything was fine, but 10 days left. We just discovered he's not fit for office, so we have to basically bring him down. And but Erin obviously came back and discussed Joe Biden.
I think the fitness that we should worry about is that of Joe Biden under the 25th Amendment. We know that he stumbles on his words incessantly. He appears to be in the early stages of Alzheimer, perhaps dementia. Having lived with 2 grandparents with it, it's very apparent to me to see. So I think if we're going to start talking about the 25th Amendment, let's be very careful what happens next.
I just got to put it to you finally. I know you're in Jupiter, Florida, but I think many British viewers in particular will think you are living on another very strange planet which has lost touch with right and wrong and political morality. What would you say to them?
See, this is classic British mainstream media because of Ofcom and the way they do interviews, unlike CNN or Fox News. They do this tricky, very, very smooth tactic where Adam Boulton will come out to say that, well, I'm sure British people, as a nation, all the British people are thinking that you guys are crazy and you live in a different planet. But he just made this point. But he said, well, there are some people in Britain might think this. It's not me. I'm not saying it. I just think there are some people in Britain who think this. That's why she completely lost her patience with it.
Well, your quippy one-liners don't hurt me very much. And what I tell you is 70+ million Americans voted for President Trump. And those are people just like me, who have family that has served in the military, who paid for everything that we've ever earned in our life. I wasn't handed anything by anyone. And I am an American who has traveled all over the world and respects Great Britain and respects Australia and respects every corner of our world. I am the person who supports those who fight our wars and pay our taxes. So for you to call me anything less than a proper God-fearing, God-loving American who loves this country and loves our flag is shameful and disgusting.
Well, he didn't know what to do. The thing is, usually Adam Boulton gets fiery, and he always comes back with some sort of counter argument or saying, no, you're the crazy one. I'm going to be emotional as well. But it's happened a number of times recently in America when he's doing his interviews. He's not as confident when he's doing American interviews as opposed to when he's just interviewing Lib Dems or Remainers or Alistair Campbell. So he's just like, okay, I'm just going to pretend that I'm the cool one and she's the crazy one. So I'm just going to end the interview there. I usually don't like the emotional tactic when doing interviews. Doing what Erin did. But sometimes, if the other person is being completely irrational, then fine. Just get passionate. because there's nothing wrong with passion. But she's one of the, obviously, she's great. She's a great commentator. She goes on a number of TV outlets in America, and she's getting quite big in the conservative circle. But Adam Boulton also decided to interview Craig Dillon, who is one of the digital strategists from the UK. He's currently doing some projects in America. And this topic was about the social media ban, Twitter and Parler and all this stuff, because that's Craig Dillon's expertise. This was interesting because during this interview, Adam Boulton takes the side of the big tech without being, ashamed of it.
I think they're setting a dangerous precedent. At the moment over here, Democrats are celebrating. They've been waiting for this moment for the last 4 years. The problem we have now is if we go into the next election and say the Democrat candidate, as Elizabeth Warren did in the last election, stood on a sort of platform of breaking up big tech, there's now nothing to stop platforms like Twitter and Facebook removing her profile. So I think they've really set themselves up on a dangerous precedent, and we don't know what...
Yes, exactly. I said this yesterday when I made the video about big tech, censorship, Twitter, Facebook, Apple, they're bringing down conservatives, left, right, and center. I mentioned this because the people on the left, the leftists who are celebrating this, and the liberals as well, you don't know that when the time comes, when people like AOC or Elizabeth Warren, or, from over here, probably Diane Abbott, try to get into power and then try to go against the same big tech, well, if they want to advocate to break them up, they might get censored. You're going to give in too much power to these big corporations because you're currently backing them. The whole establishment on the left are backing them. They're going to come after you as well.
What's going to happen in the future with this?
It would be foolish, wouldn't it, of any society to facilitate them?
I think that's probably the case. The fact is, though, if you care about free speech, that, I certainly don't agree with many of the things that Donald Trump says, but I'll certainly defend his right to say them.
Yeah, but we know that Google...
Okay, so firstly, Adam Boulton, this bit, he said that it will be foolish for any society to facilitate the right-wingers, conservatives, Trumpians. I don't know who he's talking about, but we know who he's talking about. So he's basically advocating for societies in general, and again, social media firms, to not facilitate, to not give them platforms. Just shut down any speech that you don't agree with.
As I understand it, you would know better than me, but Google, which hosts Parler, is actually taking measures to curtail that as well. So again, that could be something which helps reduce the divisiveness in American society.
What? So, okay, Adam Boulton just said that Google and Apple, who have now removed Parler from their app stores, Parler, which is a competitive app competition to Twitter, and a lot of people now think that it's a right-wing echo chamber. Yes, there are a lot of right-wing people, moderate to crazy, extreme and normal, conservative, nationalist, everything. But there are also a lot of other journalists, centrists, left-wingers there. So Adam Boulton just said Google and Apple removing these apps will get rid of the divisiveness in society. So the division will go away if you shut down one side. So everybody will be united. I don't think that's how it works, Adam. You're basically shutting down one side, and then you're going to create an echo chamber on the left within society, and then you think, well, that's it. Everyone's united. Everyone's friendly. And this is Craig Dillon's response.
Well, they're going to ban them from going onto Parler, but, these people are then going to go onto somewhere else and somewhere else. What you're doing is just dividing those two sides. You're pushing the right-wing people, the Trump supporters, into a very dark place where they end up going down these rabbit holes of conspiracy theories and all these things. It would have been much better just to keep them on a platform like Twitter, where we can monitor these things and make sure that the proper facts are getting out there. I think that's right. I was here, I saw what was going on, and it was, majority was families and people like that that were kind of shocked at seeing what was actually happening at the top with the smoke and all these things.
Well, yeah, so that's the rest of the interview, and it's really interesting how the mainstream media in Britain are just losing their mind over the whole situation, especially over the last 4 years. The Guardian is another one. Nick Cohen has written an article about how the British right, people like Michael Gove, Prime Minister Boris Johnson, and a number of others, were very, very once so thrilled to be close to Trump, and now you can see them running. I don't understand this. Trump was president, and as British government, ministers and Prime Minister have to deal with him. firstly, that's a necessity. You have to do it. Secondly, America is our closest ally, and Trump was not only president, he was actually a friendly president towards Britain. So why would Michael Gove or Boris Johnson or even Theresa May at the time avoid Trump? So now Nick Cohen in The Guardian has written this piece saying that, oh, look at these British conservatives who are like hanging out with Trump. Now they're all going against him. So in this article, obviously, he's talking about how, like, even back in 2017, they were saying that Trump was a warm and generous friend of Brexit Britain. Because it's true. That was the case. And, he's always going to be a friendly ally to Britain. You could criticize some of his domestic policies, but when it comes to foreign policies, Trump has been pretty good for America. And he's primarily targeting Michael Gove because he once interviewed Donald Trump. How dare you interview the President of the United States? In this article, he's also going after Priti Patel and Boris Johnson and all the other ministers who have now come out against Trump. Since that night in Washington, Priti Patel, Dominic Raab, Boris Johnson, everyone, all the ministers that you can think of, came out on Twitter, released statements saying that we condemn what happened in DC and Trump, should sort it out. So they went against Donald Trump, and he's now saying that now they're going against him. I don't think you guys know how politics works. Politics is a dirty game. It's basically a diplomatic version of like a Sicilian family. When the boss is going down right now, the British ministers now think that this is the end of Trump. They think that Trump is going down. So it's time to now go against him. That's how, unfortunately, politics as a dirty game works. It's not personal. That's just how the game works. It's not because, one day they were best friends and now they're betraying him and it's so emotional. No, unfortunately, this is just how these people deal with politics, and it shouldn't be. I'm not advocating for it, but that's just how it works. Some good news. Harry and Meghan, according to the Times, are leaving their social media platforms. 2020 is the year of social media accounts being cancelled. Some of them are being cancelled by the social media firms. Some of them are being voluntarily cancelled, like Harry and Meghan's accounts. Obviously, I don't really take this seriously because I don't really care if they are on social media, if they're not. But the problem I have with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex is that they have said that, firstly, 10 million Instagram followers. That's a lot of followers. But they said that, the couple are understood to have become disillusioned by the hate they encountered on social media. Okay, you have millions, 10 million followers on Instagram, for example. Why would you even bother checking your notification tab? Just don't check it. You know what's going to happen. Everyone on social media gets hate, even unknown people, random people. This is the world we live in. It shouldn't be like this, but what are you going to do? I mean, firstly, leaving social media is one option. So fair enough. If you really can't take it, then good. The first option should be don't check your notifications. Second option, block people you don't like. Third option, yes, leave social media. But on the other hand, if you're now, because these people are, the reason I don't have a problem with this is because these two, for example, are role models for some people in the world. They are. Some people, looking up to these people. It happens with all celebrities. They have a base. They always have a base. And instead of being good role models and showing how you can be strong and brave, they are actually promoting the victimhood mentality. Do you not think that Elizabeth II, Her Majesty the Queen, doesn't get hate? She gets actual hate letters every day to the palace. She has to her team have to actually open them and read them. She constantly gets, there's a big chunk of the country who are Republican and who hate the royal family. So what is she going to do? She's going to leave the job and just go and move to Antigua with Piers Morgan. Not going to happen. This is the life that she's leading. This is the job that she has, and she has no choice. She just was born into it. Same with Harry. Meghan voluntarily came into the family. She knew what she was getting herself into, and now she's kicking off. But I'm fine. That one of the third option is to leave social media if you can't take it. But I would rather if these two, instead of promoting victimhood mentality, they were to promote bravery and encourage young kids to actually be stronger and fight back. Never surrender. Thanks again for watching. Tomorrow we have our members Q&A. So I've already posted on the community tab for the members of the channel to submit their questions. Become a member, you get a lot of perks, including weekly Sunday video podcast, which will be tonight at 9 p.m. We've got obviously the weekly Zoom calls on Wednesdays and discounted merchandise. Don't forget to get your latest merchandise. I believe in Britain. If you do believe in Britain, use this special discount code Brexit10 for the next 2-3 weeks. I think at the end of January, yes, we have this special discount active. So go check out the link in the description. Get your latest I Believe in Britain merchandise. Subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for watching. I'm Tousi, and I'll see you guys in the next video.